Alright, what's up? My name is Juno. You might know already if you see my first vlog. I just released it. It's not really a vlog. It's just like an introduction to what I'm going to be I don't even talk about that. I just introduce myself and we're going to see where it goes. But in that, I talked about how I am a recovering addict alcoholic, same shit. And I just want to kind of go in depth with that. I wanted to share my story for two reasons, mainly. One being I want to get used to sharing the story because I go to meetings and I want to learn how to at some point chair and share my story because that's part of, if you've ever been to a meeting. And two, to kind of give some hope out there to anyone that's my age and trying to get sober because, this shit doesn't hold out for anybody. There's no restrictions. There's no limitations. There's no lines it doesn't cross. It will ruin anyone's life. And it doesn't matter what age, sex, fucking doesn't matter anything about who you are. It'll suck your life. It'll fuck up shit. It'll fuck shit up. I guess I just want to start and, really tell my story. So, there's nothing much else to that. So, my name is Juno. I'm an alcoholic addict. I say alcoholic addict because I can't use anything safely without abusing the flip out of it. Just nothing was safe, I follow the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. You probably heard about it. It's very fucking popularized now. And I don't know how the anonymous part works, but I'm assuming people watching this are, you guys are chill. You guys can keep it on the down low. Nothing crazy. In the big book about Alcoholics Anonymous, it states complete abstinence is the only relief, or the only relief is complete abstinence. Same flipping shit. But I don't use any substance. I know some people try to go to get sober and they smoke weed only. They have a drink every now and then. That's not really complete abstinence. I don't take painkillers. I don't smoke weed. I don't do nothing like that because I know it's a very slippery slope. One of something small can turn into 10 of something 20 times stronger. So I know there's no hope for me. I'm out of the game. That's a young man's game. It started from the beginning, I guess. Growing up, my parents, my dad, he smoked weed a lot. I'm sure when he was younger, he did some other shit. He talked to me about some shit, but he smoked a lot of weed and he drank. And my mom tells me that because of his weed habit, that we had to downsize houses. I know we moved houses a lot, smaller and smaller. She says it's because his weed habit was so expensive. She lied about a lot of shit though after the divorce, which I'll get into later. But I don't know. It's a theory, I guess. But my mom she's still an alcoholic. My dad still smokes weed and drinks. My mom still smokes weed and drinks. They divorced when I was 7, and it kind of fucked with me a little bit, not growing up with a dad. I was 7. I was 7. I didn't fully see my dad again until I was 13. He was he couldn't get permission from the courts to come see me or my brother. So we didn't see him for a while. He was doing his own thing. I'm not sure what that was, but at some point when I was 12, I smoked weed for the first time with my friends. I know he smoked weed for a while. His family gave it to him. I'm not gonna say his name, but he offered me weed, and I was with my other friend. I won't say his name either. So it's 3 of us, and we smoked out of an apple for the first time. And it was fucking fun, dude. It was so much fun. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna say it wasn't fun. It was great. Of course it was. It's fucking weed out of an apple. What part about that isn't great? It was a very slippery slope from the start because I started smoking weed pretty much every day, and I started drinking at 13 pretty much every day. I would go to school with a fucking hydro flask full of vodka, orange juice, vodka, cranberry juice. I love vodka. That was my thing. But I started drinking pretty much every day, smoking pretty much every day. And that was up until I was 15 when I tried the strong shit. The first strong thing I tried, I believe, was a Xanax. It's very blurry. You can imagine a lot of drugs fucking kind of fuck with the old thinker. I tried Xanax for the first time. I think was the first thing I tried. And I didn't have a lot of it. It was something I just snorted real quick. It wasn't that crazy. I wasn't that big into downers. But it kind of lowered my morals. I used to have an expectation where I wasn't gonna do fucking anything crazy. I just smoke weed and drink. That's normal party shit. That's cool shit. No, as soon as I snorted that first Xanax, I think it was a Xanax. It doesn't matter. It was the first hard drug I tried, which is I immediately knew that no more morals. Anything's up for grabs. then I started trying more. At the age of 15, I tried most drugs that I've, all of them, I guess. Not all of them. There's a lot of drugs out there. But I tried a lot of drugs at that time. I started with, like, coke, shrooms. I really got into acid for a while. Acid had a little grip on my ass because I was dropping acid, like, 2 to 3 times a week for, like, 2 months straight. I watched a bunch of movies and TV shows on it. And I loved it. And meanwhile, all this is happening, I'm having a little more trouble at home. Things are starting to get a little more, fucky at home. I'm starting to argue with my mom more. I'm starting to, like, just be a fucking asshole, right? One thing I forgot to mention was that at 12, I also came to my mom and told her that I felt depressed and anxious. She sent me to therapy, just right away. Fixed my social anxiety, but I knew I had mental illness from the start. Because of that, mixed with the new drugs I was finding out about, I started going to mental hospitals. I went in and out of mental hospitals, and sometimes, like every time actually, was because of she wanted to detox me without like actually, because there's no detox for like people my age, really. It's like hard to find them. I grew up in Arizona. I live in Arizona, so it's not very out here. It wasn't at the time. So my mom would lie to like the people would be like, yeah, he's gonna fucking kill himself. And sometimes I would say it, like when like you stub your toe, or, like you drop your fucking plate and you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, like shit gets annoying. I did that on a little higher level. I went to IOP where I first found out that you could do Benadryl. Didn't know you could get high on Benadryl. So when I was sobering up, again, I tried getting sober a few times because I knew it was like a problem. I never wanted to get sober. I got sober because my mom told me to, my sister told me to, like whatever. I found out about Benadryl and that was fucking crazy. But back to like when I first started doing all this, well, actually before, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. I'm learning how to do this. When I was like 13, I was when I like first got caught smoking weed and drinking. I got sent to my sister's house. Lived there for a little bit. Was smoking weed every day. She would buy it for me. I bought like half ounces every month. Actually, I finished it in like 2 weeks. So I just ran out of weed and started smoking hers. And I was drinking like crazy. I was drunk all the fucking time. Just drunk, but I didn't have any strong drugs. yet. I was 13, like I said. And I eventually I went back to my mom's house. I think we got into an argument or something. Something happened where I left my sister's house again. Went back to my mom's. Then I got into some more fights, went to my dad's house. Where, of course, I fought with him because I was getting high still. I was still, when I come down off that shit, I'm an asshole, man. I'm just a fucking dick. Honestly, like if you ever use coming down, it just makes you really irritable, really mean. And like I fought, everything that they said to me, I fought it. And it wasn't the best idea because it got me kicked the fuck out. I went back to my mom's house, and then from there I think I went to my sister's house again. She lived in Texas still. That's where I went last time. I went to Texas. My dad was in surprise. But I went to Texas. Then when she moved to Colorado, I was there when she moved to Colorado. I packed up her house. I went with her to Colorado. And it was chill. It was chill as fuck. I was doing online school. I wasn't going. One thing I should have mentioned earlier, I don't go to school. At this time, I just don't go. I didn't go to school. I didn't like it. I didn't like fucking waking up in the morning and going to a place I didn't like to be. Reasonably so. I hate school. I still hate it. Fuck it. But, yeah, I wasn't going to school. I was smoking a bunch of weed still drinking. And I remember this very vividly. One time, she was leaving the house to go to the store. I was just sitting on the couch, fucking high as fuck. And it didn't have any more weed. It was like kind of a collective weed. And I was like, yo, sis. On the way back from the store, pick up some more weed. She's like, the fuck? She got really upset. I was like confused. Why? I'm like, we smoke weed all the time. We're out of weed. So buy some more. What's the big deal? And she cut me off. And I started fucking tweaking. It was just weed at this time. I was like fucking 14. But I was tweaking without it. No alcohol, no weed. And I was like fucking pissed. So I started tweaking out on her. And I was like, I fucking need it. So I started to steal hers without her knowing. And I remember it very vividly because I was sober for not sober, I was clean. I wasn't even clean. I didn't want to be I didn't have it for like fucking a week. And I seen her joint outside that she left it out there. I tried it, got gone. I was just in the clouds, just fucking nowhere to be seen. I remember telling her after a while, I told her like, hey, I stole your weed. She's like, the fuck? She got pissed, real mad. And so she kicked me out. Went back to my mom's house. back at my mom's house, still fighting with her. Nothing's changed. You know, that one thing I should mention is that my mom is a little toxic. She's like a little fucking crazy. It comes from somewhere. I'm not, you know what I mean? We kept fighting. And it wasn't fun, of course, for either of us. So she took me back to my dad's house again. And I didn't get along with my stepmom at all. You know, I didn't like this woman. I barely liked my stepbrothers, which, if they're watching this, I like you now. But I didn't really like my stepmom or my stepbrothers. I didn't like this new family of mine that I was living with. And I continued to smoke weed and drinking, just constantly. So yeah, this time I just fucking started cussing out my dad, which I've done before. I didn't mention that, but when I get really mad, I cuss out my dad. I fucking start saying real mean things, and he kicked me out again. I know it's like getting fucking repetitive, but imagine what I felt, you know, fucking out of every place I went to. Fucking Jesus. All while still going to like IOPs and fucking mental hospitals in between each one of these, you know. Like I don't remember every time I went, but in and out of mental hospitals and IOPs. But I went back to my mom's again. This next time, I got again fighting. Fucking nothing changed. And every time I go back to my mom's house, I hang out with my buddy. I grew up with him since kindergarten. Not gonna say his name, but we would get fucked up on anything. I would go to his house for like days at a time, weeks at a time. We just start doing a bunch of coke, bunch of meth, bunch of fucking acid, bunch of fucking codone. We were doing anything, dude. Anything we can buy, we were fucking putting up our noses or dropping it in our tongues, because it was fucking fun. But the consequences weren't. Going home and coming down off of meth, which I should mention that my meth had fentanyl in it the whole time, because I was explaining to people like, yeah, don't you hate when you like come down off of meth and like your stomach hurts, you can't shit, your bones ache, you want to cry, and you curl up in a ball and fucking just like sit there for the next 3 days? They're like, buddy, that sounds like opiates. And what opiates do they put in meth? Just think about the most common opiate in the world now. So yeah, it turns out, and also I told them, real quick, I also told someone that I was like, yeah, my eyes always got real small when I was doing meth. Isn't that normal? Your eyes get real small, like real pinpoint? They're like, no, that's opiates again. That's opiates again. Meth makes your eyes real big. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was doing fentanyl the whole time. It had meth in it. It wasn't just fentanyl. But yeah, problem. But yeah, I was basically just coming home all the time whenever I was done with my bender. I'd come home and I'd be fucking sick. My mom would be like looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She used before. She knows what was wrong with me. I would come home and I'd be in her room. I'd be like, yeah, so, what? Huh? And of course, she was like, you're on meth. You're high. You're drunk. And it's like, yeah, no fucking shit. I look like fuck. I was tweaked the fuck out. What did I expect was gonna happen? I went back to my mom's, and like I said, using with my friend every fucking weekend during the weekdays on days off of work, and just not doing well. And I went to my nana's house this last time, and at my nana's house I was doing good. I was at this IOP program, and I was sober for a while. The IOP program kind of fucked me up, and here's why. I met these girls. I met a lot of girls there. They're all as fucking. They're one thing about addict women. They love them some men and women, but they're horny, and they were all on me because I was like the only dude there, you know. So these girls, I was just flirting with them, all that. They started bringing weed in, and I was like, yeah, I'm better than that. You guys are losers. I'm not gonna smoke that because I'm better than that. 2 weeks, about a week actually, go past, and I'm smoking with them, because fuck, man, I always go back to weed. I'm always like, coke was my problem. When I was on meth, I got caught, so that's my problem. Drinking too much is my problem, but a little bit of weed, that ain't shit, dog. It was shit. But it led me to more coke. So this is what happened. I started smoking weed again. And then I started just smoking more weed. I started buying weed. Of course, buying weed is gonna fucking, you're gonna want more and more and more. Until one weekend, I went to downtown Phoenix where my buddy lives. This is where like my old stomping grounds. Went to downtown Phoenix and I started doing some coke and ketamine. First time I tried ketamine, I was like very interested. I was like, what is this thing? Let me try some. So we were doing 1 line of ketamine, setting a 15-minute timer because we looked up how long it lasts because we're fucking smart or whatever. And we do 1 line of coke because we look up how long it lasts and we put a timer. And we fucking one back and forth until we'd be fucking. And then we'd be fucking talking like for a fucking bunch of fucking talk. And just back and forth. And easily could have had a heart attack. That's like heart attack central right there. I was like fucking just like on the edge of being fucking having a heart attack. Not the best idea for me. But I did it because I don't know why. In the book it says, you know, you ask a fucking it says drinker because it's an alcoholic's book, but you ask a drinker or addict why they use, and they're gonna come up with fucking some excuse. They're gonna be like, it helps my anxiety, you know, it makes me work harder, you know, something. The real truth is, and they'll rarely tell you this, the real truth is, they don't know why I pick up a drink again. They have no fucking idea why I picked the drink up again. It's just like, I want it. Deep down in my mind, I know it's fun. For a moment, I'm like, yeah, I only remember the good part. So let me just get the good part again. But it always ends with the bad part. Every time. So this last time, I went back to my mom's house off of coke. I was out at my friend's house for about 2 weeks at this point. Went back to my mom's house to pick up some clothes to head back to my friend's house. And at this time, 2024 Olympics were going on. And I was like, if you know about it, there was some like, you know, Satanism shit or something was. I forgot exactly what the theory was. There's a conspiracy theory about the Olympics, and I was fucking googling up and fucking deep into it. I was like, holy shit, this. I was like, holy shit, and I was fucking on coke. So I went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, the Olympics are fucking evil. The world is ending. This is happening. That's what it was. The world was fucking ending because of the Olympics. But I told her, and I started tweaking out in the house, and I was just fucking running around the house, fucking spewing out some fucking crazy conspiracy theory shit. And I was like, I sat down for a little bit. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? What am I doing right now? Like, what's going on? So I stopped, and I went to my mom, and this time I was like, Mom, like, I need some help. Like, I'm fucked up. I'm 17 at this point, and I'm like, I'm fucked up. I'm strung out. I don't know what to do. So she sent me to a mental hospital. This is when I went to the last mental hospital I was at. This time I wanted a change in my life. I wanted something to change. And my mom, she called me one day from the mental hospital. I was like on the hospital phone. And they like used like timed visits or timed calls. And she's like, hey, for your next place, I want to send you to this place called Sanctuary. And I was like, yeah, what the fuck you mean next place? I want to go home. I want to go home right now. I know I just said I want something to change, but deep down I want something to change. So, like, consciously, I want to get the fuck out of there and go fucking use again. But I was like, the fuck you mean? And she was like, I'm sending you to a place called Sanctuary. Apparently, it's a really nice place. It's hard to get in there. Our insurance covers it. I think you should do it. At first, I was like, fuck no. And then, like, a week passed. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And, so I went, and it was a sober living for adolescents. It was a residential for several. It was a fucking rehab for adolescents. That's what I meant to say. Rehab for adolescents. I was the first ever patient there. Like, I was number 0. Like, they just started the program. I was first to get in there, so fucking immediate God shot. Like, this just happened when I decided to fucking hit my rock bottom. Which, let me just say, it wasn't as bad as other people's rock bottoms. You know, I could have fucking turned out a lot worse. Trust me. But, in the book, in the 4th edition, they state that, some people hit their rock bottom, and it's real fucking low. It's real down there. And some people, they see the rock bottom. They're like, that's coming up pretty quick. Okay? And they're like, let me just stop before I hit that real hard rock bottom. And that's what happened to me. I noticed that shit was slipping fast. You know, I was not doing great. Basically, I was at this new place, and the BHT, I'm not gonna say his name, great fucking dude. He was so cool. And I just lived there for like the next, no, 3 months. And when I was there, the Sanctuary wasn't the best program. I'm not gonna lie to you and say it was great. They didn't have their shit together at all. But the BHTs that were there, the guys that were like watching over me all day, they were telling me, they're like, you should start following AA. You should start getting into AA. AA saved my life. It'll save yours. And I was like, why the fuck not? So I started reading the big book. I started praying to God. I started just doing everything I had to do. Everything that they told me to do, I did it because I wanted a change. And slowly but surely, I started noticing a change. I started noticing things, you know, I stopped obsessing over using so much. And I was chilling, you know, it was good. I went to my first meeting there. Great meeting. I met my first sponsor. Started working on the steps. He would come by the rehab place. It was like a place he could go to. He'd work on the steps. It was this 12-step program with AA. I think I got to like step 3, and then I stopped talking to him. Something happened. I don't fucking remember. I really enjoyed AA. I feel like it did change my life. It changed everything. Because as soon as I found the big book, which is the Alcoholics Anonymous book, it's called the big book, and like some people call it the Bible. It's just whatever you want to call it. I started to see a change. I read the whole thing front to back, and I loved it. It was great. It like explained who I was, explained what I was going through. It like helped me it opened my eyes to what this problem is, this disease that we have. And I remember my mom telling me to read it when I was younger. She's like, hey, you know, I got this book when I was younger. You should check it out. And I never read it. I was like, what the fuck is that? It looks boring. It's a great book. If you're struggling with any sort of substances and you want to learn how to quit, pick up a book. Go to a meeting, find a sponsor, because that's what changed what I was, you know, going through. I graduated from the rehab. I went to sober living, the one I'm at right now. I'm at sober living right now. I did relapse. I drank 1 can. It doesn't fucking matter how much I drank. It doesn't matter what I did. I relapsed, and I, you know, fucked up, and it happens. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And we know that's not true. Or we know that is true. But I came back, and right now I'm 37 days clean, or sober. I'm 37 days sober because I'm following the steps, and I want this change. And it's been a great ride. And I started going to the gym. I work a good job. Doesn't pay the most, but I'm doing it and I love it. I have fun with this job. I change oil, but it's fun for me. I enjoy it. It's something I'm learning. I've never worked on cars before, and I'm working on cars now. Just changing oil and fucking like filters and shit. Just doing little shit, rotating tires. But it's fun for me. Going to the gym. I used to go when I was playing football when I was a freshman, but I go to the gym again and it's fun. Oh, speaking of that, I forgot to mention I dropped out of school. But I got my GED in rehab. If you're gonna drop out of school, get your GED or graduate. Get a fucking education. You better get education if you're thinking about get an education if you're my age. Because I'm 18 now, supposed to graduate last year. I got my GED instead, and it's fine. I'm not planning on going to college anytime soon, so I don't need a fucking scholarship or nothing. Fuck that. But seriously, AA saved my life. It really did. And I'm sure I missed some key points in here, but I think I got the basics. You know, not the greatest childhood. I didn't bring up everything in childhood because that's I'm not gonna trauma dump on you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just changed my life, and I know you can too. And I'm gonna continue making vlogs. This is not a vlog part. I'm sure you read the title already. If you're this fucking far deep, but yeah. I mean, it's just go to a meeting, read the big book, find a sponsor. 3 most important things you can do if you're struggling. And yeah, just stay safe out there. Okay, it's a real dangerous game now you're playing. A lot of fentanyl out there, so make sure you know what you're playing before you get out there. But that's it.